Welcome to the Secret Love Channel. There are men, no matter how strong, when they miss a woman sincerely, they cannot completely hide their feelings. Sometimes, that longing is not said, but it is present through every look, every action, and even unconscious habits. Some people choose to silently follow. Others accidentally mention you in seemingly unrelated stories. And especially, there are expressions that even they themselves do not realize. But sensitive people will feel it right away. 1. That is, he goes to the place you often go. When a man misses you like crazy, he will quietly go to the street you used to go to the park you often go to the place you work, go downstairs where you live, go to the places you like to go. In his heart, he will be extremely looking forward to you passing by those places and is ready to, accidentally, meet you at any time, creating a romantic encounter for both of you. 2. He sends you a message. When a man starts to miss you, the first thing he thinks about is wanting to see you. So he will take out his phone and send you a message. No matter what time it is. At night when he knows you are already asleep and cannot read his messages, he will definitely still send you a message to convey his inner feelings. To let you know how much he misses you. To let you feel his feelings. 3. He flips through photos countless times. When a man who loves you misses you, he will feel happy, because his heart is filled with the image of someone, that is you. However, missing someone also makes him sad, because when he is alone in an empty, lonely room without you by his side to comfort him, at this time, the man who truly loves you will start to open the photos of you or of the two of you together. Look at you and remember the wonderful happy moments the two of you once had. At this time, the man's heart will be filled with happiness, somewhat easing his loneliness. Missing someone in love not only brings joy but also comes with emptiness. When a man constantly looks at your photos, it is not just a habit but a desire to be close, to relive beautiful moments with you. This shows that his feelings are deeper and more sincere than ever. 4. He drops what he's doing and runs to you immediately. When a man thinks about a woman so many times a day that she has the ability to control all his actions, he will stop everything and immediately go find that woman, because there are memories that need to be released immediately to help us work effectively. Otherwise, the man will fall into a state of being lost in thought. Therefore, the deeper the love for someone, the crazier the memories that come to men. Regardless of distance, regardless of time, they will find a way to release them. When a man truly misses you, he will not only keep his longing in his heart but also show it through every action. Whether silently or intensely, there are times when he quietly follows. Sometimes he actively tries to appear in your life. And when his emotions are high, he can't even control himself. If you notice these signs, cherish them, because they are manifestations of sincere and deep feelings. Don't worry if a man has these 3 crazy expressions, because it proves your position in his heart. Don't judge him crazy, because only when he loves you too much will he go crazy like that. This is something that not everyone understands. But it is extremely common in love. It's not necessary to be apart for two people to feel the longing for each other. But the way men and women express their longing is completely different. Girls sometimes just need a simple text message like, "I miss you," to express their feelings. But for men, the story is much more complicated. If it is true love, their longing can drive them crazy, making them lose control of themselves. And sometimes, you will not easily recognize the level of longing through the way he expresses it. Because men have very unique ways to express this emotion. Sometimes, he will not say anything but will show it through small actions that you do not expect. Men's longing is often expressed in three very special ways. The first is attention to small things that you have not yet realized. He can pay attention to your habits, the things you like, even the way you eat or the words you accidentally forget. Love for him is constant attention, whether you realize it or not. 1. He will start to show concern. The questions that seem simple at first but contain a lot of concern. Have you eaten? Is something wrong? Are you sure you're not sick? That is a sign of missing you that he doesn't express with straightforward words, but always cares for you little by little. Finally, it is the act of doing unpredictable things. If he suddenly appears at your workplace, or organizes a romantic evening just for you to feel his care, that is his way of showing his longing, in a wordless, but loving way. For men, sometimes missing is not words or sentimental gestures. It is shown through his presence in your life, through quiet actions that you can only feel. That is how they love and also how they keep their love fresh and strong. 2. Give up what you're doing and run to you immediately. Mr. Bin, 28 years old, shared, "Sometimes when I miss someone so much, I really want to see her right away. No matter what I do, I can't stop thinking about her face. Sometimes, the more I suppress my emotions, the more frustrated and uncomfortable I feel. When a man thinks about a woman too many times a day, to the point that she has the ability to control all his actions, he will stop everything and immediately go find that woman, because there are memories that need to be released immediately to help us work effectively. Otherwise, the man will fall into a state of being lost. Therefore, the deeper the love for someone, the crazier the memories come to men. Regardless of distance, regardless of time, they will find a way to release them. My friend. So, when a man travels hundreds of kilometers to be with you, sometimes just to hug him to satisfy his longing, then cherish him. Don't judge him crazy, because only when he loves you too much will he be crazy like that. If you have followed this far, please leave a comment, "I want to be happy." That is, you will give us more motivation to make more meaningful videos. If you haven't liked the video, please give it a like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel to support. We will give you a heart. Thank you very much. 3. Go into your dreams every night. When two people are in a long-distance relationship, they are easily misunderstood or do not fully understand each other's thoughts and feelings. When a man has fallen in love with a girl, her image will always linger in his mind, even in his dreams, although he really wants to hold you in his arms and sleep well. That is temporarily too much of a luxury because you two are far apart. He doesn't have the opportunity to talk to you directly, because of life, because of work, because of the things he has to do. A sentence, "I miss you," is not enough to express all his feelings. People often believe that if you think a lot about something during the day, you will dream about it at night. Don't worry or be surprised if at 2 or 3 a.m. he texts you with confusing, tearful or touching content. Actually, he just had a dream in which you were the main character. He always acts differently from his original personality. When a man wants to be with a woman, wants her to appear regularly in his life, even in the most private meetings, it proves that he truly loves you. He cannot control his behavior. For example, suddenly kissing you in the street, on the bus, or having very affectionate actions in the crowd. Especially when the two of you have just gone through a period of anger or being apart for too long. Before meeting you, he was a calm, mature man, but that does not mean that when he is with his lover, he can also show that. The power of love is great, especially when it is tempered after longing. Your boyfriend acts like a child, whining, teasing and wanting to receive emotional reciprocation from you. Obviously, Not only girls know how to be spoiled. Men's spoiled behavior to a certain extent is quite cute and creates a good effect in the relationship. A man misses you like crazy, and the worst thing is that he can't help but contact you. No matter what you're doing. If something bad happens, it's the scariest moment for a man if he really loves you. When he finds you, his expression will definitely be the clearest, and before that, anger or anything that happened can't stop the explosion of longing. Men are sometimes interesting like that. The more he loves, the more he does things that seem unreasonable. And even he himself never thought that when he misses you, he can be so stupid and crazy. David is an introverted man. Quiet and always keeps a certain distance from those around him. He doesn't like to show his emotions. Doesn't like noise. But since meeting Emma, a girl full of energy and always exuding joy, David's normally peaceful life has been completely disrupted. Emma not only made him laugh but also made his heart flutter every time she appeared. However, Emma had no idea how special David felt for her deep down. They often chatted via text messages, met for coffee on weekends, and shared endless stories. Everything changed when Emma decided to transfer to another city for work. The day she announced it, David was silent. He didn't say anything, didn't show any resistance, but his eyes contained a sadness that she didn't realize. David told himself to forget, to let Emma live the life she wanted. But the more he tried, the more he couldn't stop thinking about her. Missing Emma began to creep into every moment of the day. From the moment David opened his eyes in the morning until he fell asleep late at night. One evening, David suddenly stepped out of the house and wandered on the streets he and Emma had walked through. His feet led him to the old coffee shop where they used to laugh and joke on rainy days. The familiar table was still there, but the seat opposite was empty. David stared at that chair for a long time, his heart filled with a burning nostalgia. Suddenly, he heard the familiar music that Emma used to like coming from the corner of the shop. It was the song she used to hum whenever they sat together. David was caught in a whirlwind of memories. Everything appeared so vivid that he could almost feel Emma smiling in front of him. That night, after returning home, David opened his phone and scrolled through old photos of the two of them. He stopped at a photo of Emma at sunset, her face radiant but her eyes filled with a hint of sadness. He stared at the photo for a long time, wondering if Emma ever missed him the way he missed her. David considered texting Emma but hesitated. He was afraid that he would bother her, afraid that his feelings would complicate things. Time passed, but his longing for Emma grew stronger. One day, while he was at work, David received a text message from her. "David, how are you doing?" Just a simple question, but it was enough to make his heart beat faster. They started talking more through text messages. But David kept his distance, not daring to reveal too much. Until one day, Emma suddenly texted that she would visit the old city this weekend. David couldn't contain his joy. But he didn't dare to hope too much the day she met Emma again. She was still the same. Still radiant and full of life. They walked together on the familiar street. Had dinner together at the restaurant Emma used to like. During the meeting, David wanted to say many times that he missed her, that he wanted her to stay. But every word was stuck in his throat. When Emma was about to return to the new city, David suddenly stopped and took her hand. He looked straight into her eyes, for the first time letting his emotions show clearly through his gaze. "Emma, I miss you," he said, his voice trembling but sincere. She was a little taken aback, but then smiled, a smile that was not only happy but also filled with understanding. "Me too, David," she replied. That night, David took Emma to the train station, filled with mixed emotions. When the train pulled away, he was still there, his eyes following her until she was out of sight. But this time, he no longer felt as empty as before. He knew that Emma understood. And that made him feel lighter than ever. Missing someone in love is always a strong and genuine emotion. Men are often not good at expressing it in words. But silent actions are the clearest proof of their feelings. When someone really misses someone, they cannot hide it, no matter how hard they try. According to research, every 7 seconds men think about that thing. Let's find out together. This is not just a surprising number but also opens up interesting secrets about their psychology and physicality. Imagine, if 7 seconds is the average time, then in a day, how many times does this thought repeat? Let's explore the facts that you may not have thought of. 54% of men think about sex every day or even many times a day. Meanwhile, another 43% admitted that they think about that thing a few times a week or a month. It's rare for a gentleman to be able to stay away from this thought for more than a month. But what's more interesting is that the act of making love not only brings emotions but is also an effective exercise. Each 30-minute session can burn up to 200 calories. This is like you've just gone through a short jog. And experts point out that the most ideal time to start is early in the morning, when the male body reaches its peak of sex hormones, causing a significant increase in desire. What could be more surprising than knowing that a morning love affair is as effective as a full-body workout? Another curious fact: foreplay takes an average of about 20 minutes. A not-so-short amount of time but determines the success or failure of the play. This is the time when both the body and emotions of both sides reach harmony, helping the gentleman to prepare himself, and the lady to lubricate herself perfectly. It is difficult to skip this stage if you want to have a complete fun. Let's talk about frequency. According to statistics, couples, especially husband and wife, will meet, on average, about 103 times a year. Maintaining a regular routine not only brings happiness but is also a natural medicine to help your skin become brighter, your mind be more comfortable, and reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease, stroke, or diabetes. Have you ever thought that sex could be the elixir of life? But that is not the last surprise. A study also shows that if you maintain intimacy at least once a week, the body will produce happy hormones that help reduce pain and improve overall health. But not everyone reaches the peak. 48% of women admit that they have faked an orgasm at least once in their lives. You may not expect that this happens not because they don't want to, but because of pressure from their partner or emotional incompatibility. Instead of pretending, experts advise to be honest and share to find a solution. A sincere conversation can save the relationship from invisible cracks. One peaceful morning, Ethan and Sophia, a young couple who have been married for 5 years, woke up in the warmth of their room. Sophia, always an early riser, prepared breakfast for both of them, because she believed that breakfast not only energized the body but also gave them a chance to start a new day together. Ethan, although he usually woke up later, still tried to wake up early to share peaceful moments with his wife. A little bit of gentle affection in the first minutes of the day. Sophia was used to Ethan's morning routine. She noticed that every morning, he always looked fresh, full of energy and a refreshing spirit. She still remembered the times they chatted together, sharing happy stories before starting work every day. But today, Ethan was different from usual. He woke up with a slightly different expression. Not excitement, but a little worry. "Honey, I feel a little strange. I don't know why. There's something that makes me uncomfortable," Ethan said, his eyes slightly absent. Sophia listened, looking at him attentively. "What's wrong? Can I help?" she asked, worried. Ethan just shook his head, not wanting to explain too much. But just then, his phone rang. It was Noah, an old friend calling. Noah told her about a new study. "Ethan, did you know? A study just revealed that men think about sex every 7 seconds. I think you're one of them." Ethan listened, silent for a moment. Sophia was also surprised, but didn't fully understand the meaning of the sentence. 7 seconds, she muttered, her mind starting to get confused with endless thoughts. She looked at Ethan, and a hint of doubt flashed in her heart. She understood that Ethan might not always be completely focused on her when they were together, and that sometimes he had his own thoughts that she couldn't possibly know. But Sophia also realized that if that was true, wasn't it a natural part of being human? She decided to learn more about this issue, so as not to let doubts cloud her mind. Sophia spent a few days reading studies and documents about desire and sexuality. And what she discovered was that these studies weren't just about men, but also about how men and women could have different needs, even though they loved each other very much. One afternoon, Ethan sat down next to her, looked into her eyes and said, "Sophia, I've been thinking a lot about what we talked about the other day. I think sometimes we need to understand each other better, about what makes us feel comfortable and happy." Sophia looked at him, smiling gently. "I understand. Let's share more about our feelings and desires." She no longer felt insecure or skeptical, but began to realize that each person had their own thoughts, and the most important thing was that they could share and sympathize with each other. In any relationship, the most important thing is not to avoid misunderstandings or doubts, but how we face and handle them. Ethan and Sophia chose to be open and honest with each other instead of letting vague thoughts create distance. They understood that trust and understanding do not come naturally, but need to be nurtured through each sincere conversation. Love is not just about sweet moments, but also about accompanying, sharing and accepting each other's things. When both are willing to enter each other's inner world with respect and understanding, love will become stronger and more stable over time. If you find the video useful, please share it with others. Subscribe to the channel, like it, and if you have any questions, please leave a comment below. Thank you for watching. Goodbye and see you in the next video.